Okay, Dr. Price back once again. This video is going over structures, um, particularly how you structure what you're writing. So whether it's an essay or a paper or a report. So, so in we have two different types: classic structure and the IMRAD structure. If you are not in the sciences, and I mean the hard sciences, the physical sciences, and you're not, then more than likely you're not going to be doing any IMRAD structure papers. I'll still go over those IMRAD structures, but if you're in the hard sciences or even in graduate school, you'll be using the IMRAD. For everyone else who's not actually performing any research, you're going to be using the classic structure. I'll go through each. So here we go. So, classic structure: intro, body, conclusion. I will wipe from your memory your connection to a 5 paragraph essay. You are not bound to 5 paragraphs. In fact, probably your instructors will tell you to go beyond 5 paragraphs. Okay? So, 5 paragraph essay was just something your high school teachers and your middle school or junior high school teachers taught you to get some kind of substance, but now we're beyond that. Go more, go bigger. So, intro, body, conclusion. What happens in the introduction? You capture, of course, your reader's attention. Just because your reader has your paper, your essay in front of them, doesn't mean that they will want to read it. They have to read it, but you want to make it enjoyable. So, how can you capture their attention? Don't start off with a definition. You can start off with a question. You can start off with a narrative. You can start off with a quote. Make sure whatever you do to get that attention, it persuades the person, it encourages the person to want to go to the next sentence, and then the next sentence, and then the next sentence. Okay? So flow into the topic. So, however you start, move from there. Make sure it's a nice transition, introducing your topic along the way. And then, last sentence of your introduction is going to be your thesis statement. Your thesis statement is going to be that one sentence, sometimes it's 2 sentences, that will speak to the direction of this paper. What is your argument? What is the point that you're going to be proving in these next paragraphs? That is your North Star. Okay? Whatever you say in your thesis statement, you have to prove, you have to discuss in the rest of your paragraph. Right? Once you're done with the introduction, you go into the body. Again, aligned with the thesis statement. So your body paragraphs will start off with a topic sentence. So make sure your readers know what each paragraph is going to be about. Now, it's not going to be as simple as um, this paragraph is about this. No, no. You can finesse it. Continue to read, continue to explore how people introduce the topics of their paragraphs, and then you start doing the same thing. But here is the main thing that I want you to pick up on: claim, proof, explanation. Okay, so let's say that in your body paragraphs, you make several claims, you make several points, and you think that that's enough. That's not enough. So make a statement, make a claim or point, but you then have to prove your point. Okay, bring in evidence that proves it, bringing in examples that clarify what your point is, and then follow that with explanation. Okay, so here's what I think. Here's why I think that, and here is how that connects to my point. That's how that proves my point. Okay, so claim, proof, explanation. Last but not least, we have conclusion. Recap your points, recap your thesis, and not just that, but zoom out. Why should I care about this topic? Why should I care about what you're talking about? So expand to the big picture. What's the so what of this paper? What's the so what, the takeaway point? Land on that in your conclusion. And if you don't, it's a weak conclusion and no one wants to read that. So, from beginning to end, add details, keep it going, keep your readers interested. Now, the IMRAD structure, as I mentioned before, is going to be for those folks who are conducting research. So that's going to be the sciences, but that's also going to include graduate students. And if you're in the undergrad, you're doing the undergrad research stuff, then yeah, that's you. So IMRAD structure, IMR, lowercase a for the and D. So it stands for the introduction, methods, results, discussion. Okay, so we have in the introduction, so you are discussing why you did what you did, why you conducted this research. So in order to do that, you identify the problem. So what problem did you identify? What problem did you see? What was motivating you to even take time to conduct this study? And what's the impact of it? Okay, it has to have some type of impact in order to have motivated you to do all of this. So talk about how it impacts people or how it impacts the world, the environment, so on and so forth. Okay, once you've done that, then you introduce your literature. So that means literature that's previous studies related to what you're studying now. So previous scholars, previous researchers have done similar things, and so you recap those things and what they found. That's the lit review, and then you end that introduction section, which can be broken down into multiple mini sections, with your hypothesis or your questions that you want to or that you wanted to answer for your study. So here's what the problem is, here's the impact, here's what other people have thought, and now here's how I wanted it to approach it. Here are my questions, my hypothesis. This is what I wanted to see, to examine. That's the introduction. Moving on to the next one is methods. So, how did you do it? How did you conduct that research? What exactly did you do? So, that's including your methods. So, was it a survey? Was it a questionnaire? Was it some type of scientific thing that's beyond me? How many participants? Where did this take place? So on and so forth. And you also include your justifications. Why this particular group? Why this particular um, means of collecting data? So, methods section is going to be your methods and your justification. How did you do it? And also, why did you do it that way? Okay. So, then the results section is next. So, this is very simple. You just state the results. So, after you conducted your research, after you administered your survey, here's the results. You're not analyzing the results yet. You're not providing any commentary. You're just saying, here's what happened. Here is this question. Here's what people said. Du-du-du-du-du-du-du. Just the facts. Easy peasy. And then the last section is discussion. Now, that's where the meat is going to be. That's when you have taken time to analyze those results, couching those results, that data within the problem that you wanted to address. Okay, so you explain the results, let people see what the connection is, let people know what you can do with this. So you state your limitations as well. So by stating limitations, I mean that not every study is going to be perfect, right? You can always have a larger sample size. You can always there's always a better time, or better time to administer a test. You're dealing with a different group of people, all these types of things that affect your results or the effectiveness of your study. So you state those limitations. If we have to acknowledge that these were some issues that may have skewed the data, or this is just something to consider. You've done that, then you wrap it up with stating the implications for future research, the implications for application. So that's just like the classic section, the so what, the big picture. What can we do with this knowledge now that we have it? What can we do with this data? How does it affect future studies, and how does it affect our lives? And that is the IMRAD structure. Stay tuned for the next video talking about references.